final, this is our final call on our research summary. And I don't know about y'all, but I have learned a ton from this series. It's been a long series, but wow, has it been, at least for me, it's been extremely powerful and given me a lot of ammunition. I don't know if that's the right word, but a lot of information to be able to share with people. I know where it's located on our Team Extreme website, know where to go get it. And so I am excited about today's topic, which is athletic performance and gut health. And I'm even more excited that Brenda's going to share with us. She is the, she loves to dig and get the information. And y'all, if you knew how much time she invested in preparing for this call, y'all would be sending her a bonus because she has invested, she's invested a lot of time. And so thank you, Brenda, for doing that for us all. I'm going to go to our team website where everything is housed, and you can go and pull any of this information that you've been hearing over the last, this is week 7, isn't it, Brenda?
Yes.
So let me go pull that up, and Brenda, take it away.
Okay. Well, you know, like you said, Elaine, I really do love to learn, and this has been an incredible experience. I am so bulletproof when it comes to Juice Plus now. And I mean, I've always been, but just, you know, just what I've learned, it has just been amazing. And so the first thing that we're going to talk about today is athletic performance. And I love, you know, they talk about Juice Plus products are ideal for an active lifestyle. They're clinically proven to boost our immune system, help manage oxidative stress while assisting in fighting inflammation. And it's used by a wide range of athletes, teams, and sporting organizations. And I think that's one of the things that sets us apart is that, I mean, you know, it's our business is a global business. Our product is a global product, and it's affecting, you know, even Olympic teams, all not just the American team, the French team, the German team, that are all, the whole team's on Juice Plus. It's just been amazing. So, and I think too, of our 45 published studies, I think now, a fourth of them, actually a little over a fourth, 11 of those research studies are on exercise. And I think that's just really powerful because that's such a huge component of good health. And also, I think it's something that everybody, you know, is interested in to a greater or lesser extent. And we're going to learn a lot about exercise today, about, you know, and just what it does for us in our bodies. Okay, so when you're talking about Juice Plus being powerful with exercising, one of the people, there's so many people that are incredible athletes, you know, Dr. David Phillips, and we have a whole host of like, if you go on the insights, there's like 6 different people that we're going to talk about today, that famous people, famous athletes. But one of the ones that I got to listen to an incredible interview the other day from Dr. Paul Stricker, who is not only a pediatrician, a board certified pediatrician, but he's one of only 250 pediatricians in all of the United States that's also board certified in sports medicine, which is huge. I mean, it's a huge cachet for us. And he was an All-American swimmer himself in college, but then he went on to be the team doctor for many of the US teams. And even, I was telling Elaine last night, he even was the team doctor for the United States in the Sydney 2000 Olympics, which I just thought is amazing. He's an author, he's incredible. And we're going to watch one of his videos in a few minutes to introduce it to him. But he was just talking about how, you know, most athletes, you know, that go on to have, you know, careers or even, you know, go into the Olympics or be recognized, they start as kids. And so, you know, he said that, you know, he was a swimmer from early on, and that one of his coaches said to him, 3 words he said that changed his life. He just came at him and said, "You got to eat." And he's like, "I did. I had cereal for breakfast. I ate an apple after lunch. I have a salad for dinner." And he said, "No." He said, "You've got to eat, not just, to be full, not just for the calories, but for that, you need more fruits and vegetables." And that's one of the things that we know with Juice Plus, that they're putting out, so these athletes are putting out so much through exercise, that they need so many more calories in order to be healthy and to grow. And so he was talking over his career, whenever a parent or a coach, came to him as the trainer and said, what do we need to do? Do we need to strength train? Do we need to train harder? Do we need to get another coach for this? He said, "I've never had one of them come to me and say, 'What do I need to feed my kids?'" And I just thought that was so telling. He said, because that's where it starts. It starts with, a kid's health cannot be improved unless you improve the diet. And he said, training, getting enough sleep, all the things that we know, getting rest, working heartbeat, blood pressure, and all of that's important, but nothing's as important as what you're putting in your body. Okay. And so he talked about fuel, F-U-E-L, for performance. If you don't have that, you're not going to be able to perform at the level that you want to. So when we're talking about exercise, I just thought it'd be interesting right now just to ask you guys, what would you consider to be a healthy level of exercise? I mean, how much exercise do you think we need to be healthy? Anybody?
30 minutes a day.
Okay, great. Well, actually, that is the optimal. I was really shocked that the minimum that you'd need to be healthy is 5 minutes 3 times a week. 15 minutes. Is that crazy? That they just talked about how if you do that, it's going to literally push back the dying age. 15 minutes. Now the optimal is, like Karen said, it's 30 minutes 5 times a week. So 30 minutes 5 times a week. And he says literally, like walking, will literally extend your life. So I thought that was pretty encouraging, because we can all do that, right? So he was talking about when we're exercising, what happens? Well, there's all kinds of benefits. Your blood pressure, your heart rate goes up, of course your muscles are strengthened. But there's lots of good things that happen with exercise, but there's also some really negative byproducts. And that so he says, and that if you over exercise, you can really hurt yourself if you're doing it without being adequately fueled. Okay. So his formula for performance was performance equals fuel, which is food, plus recovery, plus protection. So we're going to talk about those. So fuel comes from circulating energy in our body, like ATP in your blood sugar. So it's stored carbohydrates and stored fats. Then there's recovery, where it's replacing the carbohydrates with protein. And of course, getting plenty of water, getting hydrated, getting rest. And then we have to sleep, because as we know, the only time our body repairs itself is when we're asleep, especially in the REM sleep. So it's really critical for us all to get good sleep. And believe me, no one is worse at that than I am. And I'm really, the older I get, the more that I realize that it shows up on my face the next day if I don't. So it's a big deal, a lot bigger deal than I've ever known. And also, if we don't get enough sleep, it increases our risk of infection exponentially. So we don't want that stuff. So our protection is going to come from fruits and vegetables, right? And lean fish. And we're going to hear about that later too. Okay. So we know that it's good for you, but that too much of it can be very detrimental for you. So what we have to have in addition to exercise is good nutrition, because that's what provides the fuel and also the ability to recover and be protected. So it's a difference between the need for calories and the value of those calories. Empty calorie, junk food, carbo loading, which is a lot of what athletes do. My brother's a marathon runner, and he, when he first got into it, that's what they were told to do, is carbo load, which means, go eat all the macaroni and cheese you want, or pasta the night before. I mean, those are not the carbs that are going to help you run, a 26-mile marathon, or in my brother's case, on his 50th birthday, ran a 50-mile marathon, because he's a Juice Plus addict like we are. So that explains everything, right? So athletes don't need calories, they need fuel. And that comes from the tens of thousands of protective nutrients that we get from food to help us recover and to protect us so we can be healthy. And so if you're looking at an apple, the carbs in that apple, just think of that apple as recovery and protection. And then that's translating to what we're going to talk about in our next segment about our gut, which is our second brain. So the gut is what processes all that for us. And that's what we're going to talk about, the microbiome too. So I love how everything that we've learned is all interactive. It's all a part of it, and we need it all. Just like we need all the colors, which, that's one of my big things. I'm always harping on. Every color has its own signature in the body, and we need all of them. And you're only going to get them in fruits and vegetables. I'm starting to get ramped up. Sorry, I'm going to try to slow back down. Okay, so he used the analogy of, if you had a Maserati, which my sister-in-law does have a Maserati, and in a Maserati, you would never put cheap gas, right? You want the highest octane, because if not, it's going to tear up this expensive car. And our bodies are the same way. When we're not eating high quality, vine ripened, clean as they can be, fruits and vegetables, we're putting what he calls crummy fuel in our body, and we cannot risk it. And it says, it doesn't matter at what level you are, you cannot perform your best if you're not fully healthy. And so right now, Elaine, if you would play, this is Dr. Paul Stricker, and he's gonna talk about that very point for a minute, please. We can't hear it, Elaine. Oh.
Sorry, folks, I forgot I was muted.
Your optimal performance requires your best health. I don't care how talented you are, how much good coaching you have, what your genes are. If you're not in your own personal best health, then you can't possibly perform at your best. And one of the biggest pieces of that entire puzzle is their nutritional component of that. So fitting Juice Plus into that nutritional plan is crucial, simply because it is food and because it is a way to fill in the gaps that most of us can't accomplish or don't accomplish on a daily, regular basis. This is in no way to replace those extra fruits and vegetables, but the way to fill in those gaps and to add to what they're trying to accomplish. When people go into a store and they see shelf after shelf after shelf, and each of those shelves is supposed to do something different for your body, they end up thinking that their body is very compartmentalized and that they have to take each individual thing for all those different parts of their health. And my wonderful, exciting news to them is that you can do one-stop shopping, because if you're eating more fruits and vegetables and you're adding Juice Plus to your daily nutrition, it assures you that you get multiple different beneficial compounds and nutrients in your body every day.
Okay, thank you. And one of the things that I learned through this too that I thought was so powerful, again, if you're not fueling, it doesn't matter what level you're at, if you're not fueling your body with what it needs, with healthy, clean food, you're never going to be where you want to be. He also talked about the importance of recovery and also refueling, that after intense exercise, which like for me right now is walking fast, that how important it is within a 20 to 30 minute window to replace it. that's when our bodies are the most receptive and when it's really important. And of course, the more elite athlete you are, the more important that is. But he says, if you even go 2 hours without refueling, that even if you go to replace it after that, you're only going to replace like 65% of what you've given out. And I thought that was fascinating. So we want to refuel with our shake, like immediately. To me, that's what I call it. I think Lily and I call this a shaker. It's not my big shake, but I'm really trying. I start my day with that, but that's what I'm coming in and having this since I've been doing this research as soon as I get in. And he says, so nutrition is key. We want to have better recovery, and that comes from fruits and vegetables with healthy carbs, healthy fats, proteins, and nutrients. And then talking about, okay, so how many servings do you need if you were not on Juice Plus? And I thought this was another thing. Do you know that there's scientific research now that proves that there's a tipping point of how many servings that you need? That you need to have 7 to 10 servings the size of your fist. And we're going to learn more about that in a minute too, where if you have 7 to 10 servings of the size of your fist, you reduce your risk of dying. And if you exercise intensely, of course, you would need more than that. So 7 to 10 fists a day, and we can tip the scales for a longer life, which I thought was so cool. So and we encourage everybody that we need, what we always say is they need 9 to 13 servings a day, and that's minimum. If it's a competitive athlete, of course, much more. And we all know after when in talking to people and with our customers and for ourselves, that's a challenge. And so he says, well, there's an answer. And that's what he was just saying in there. And I love, because now we're coming into that. I don't know if you've heard, let's get to the good part. Well, the good part is that we have the incredible gift of an easy way to have those concentrated fruit powders and to get this amazing, tremendous additional nutrition without having to eat a lot of extra just food, extra additional amounts of calories. We have a way to fill the gap with our, as he called them, our fruit powders. And he talked about, broccoli. If you grind up, a handful of broccoli, you're going to get this tiny little bit of powder because broccoli is 90% water, as we know. So for our company has founded a way to take, those 30 plus fruits and vegetables, grow them as clean, and berries, grow them as clean as we can, include the stem, the seeds, the skin, all of it. And then we also have our amazing complete protein shake. And when we get into gut health, it's real exciting. At least I think you're going to think so. Okay, so our goal is to eat as many fruits and vegetables as we can. And in these 11 studies that on just a fourth of our studies are on exercise, what they talked about, just the reassurance of the consistency of our results across the board. We're not having, well, this is really good, but nobody else thinks it is. No, all of these studies talk about the most, and he said even 3 of the studies are in the most important sports medicine journal, which is it's called the Medicine and Science in Sports and Exercise Journal, that 3 of our studies there are there. And I just think that's so amazing. And it shows that even high intensity athletes and even military like Cobra Force, when they're eating fruits and vegetables, and then when they're eating Juice Plus, they're getting the most benefit of their exercise and training with the fewest of negative effects. That sentence right there should be all we need, right? Okay, so now we're going to get it. So when we looked at the Juice Plus research, what we know is that we're getting the most benefit from exercise with the least negative effects. So there's no downside to fruits and vegetables, right? We're going to reduce muscle protein breakdown, which is very hard to rebuild. It's going to make such a difference with oxidative stress and free radicals. Everything that goes wrong in our body is because of that. We're going to have a better immune system balance. We're going to have cardiovascular benefits. And the cool thing is that it's also we're not going to get sick like other people in all of these studies who aren't eating Juice Plus. And that's one of the things that was said in one of the reports. And he said for athletes, that NSF certification means that this company has gone above and beyond the typical standards for processing. And they've got a product that's not only safe, but super clean, which helps provide the ability for us to play sports and not have to worry about being drug tested and having to worry about it, because Juice Plus, you're not gonna fail a drug test. Isn't that amazing? So when we look at all the optimal parts, of optimal health, flexibility, strength, staying hydrated, getting sleep, the only thing that really protects our body in every case is our food as fuel. So we've got to eat as many fruits and vegetables as possible. And we've got to add the powerful role of Juice Plus, complete and capsules, every product we have, to be the best fuel protection anywhere. So, okay. Okay, so now the second thing the second of our areas is gut health. And okay, I'm going to be gut level honest with you. There's one study on gut health so far, and I could not find it anywhere. And Elaine, I did finally I called corporate after you and I talked this morning, and finally I found it, and it's pretty exciting. The one study that we have so far that specifically gut health is from the University of Memphis. And this is wild, friends. Okay, so what they did at the University of Memphis is they took 57 premenopausal, asymptomatic, there was nothing wrong with them, okay, they were, except for being premenopausal, they were overweight, obese females from 25 to 50, who were all working in healthcare. I thought that was fascinating. So that's, for most of us, that's where it used to be, 25 to 50, but, okay, so these are women who were either overweight or obese, but they had nothing else wrong with them, okay? What the wild part of this is, that they not only took blood samples, they took fecal samples from these women, because they did it at 2 months, 4 months, and 5 months of daily adding all 3 blends of Juice Plus. I don't think they added I didn't see anywhere that it was the omegas too, but so all 3 blends of Juice Plus and a complete shake. So now we know, I mean, this is our lives, right? This is where, at least for me, that's my whole menu right there. So they did metabolic parameters and gut microbiome were analyzed. And so what they wanted to find out is whether this was going to do anything for this population. Okay, so it's just fascinating. One of the things they talked about a lot is one of the reasons they wanted Juice Plus was because of the polyphenols, which we've already studied, and the polyphenols in our dried, what do they call it, fruit and vegetable supplement. And they're also evidently in our we're getting all the other things. It says we added fiber content. I'm going to read this for you. We added fiber component in the form of a meal replacement drink to determine its effect on the gut microbiome and health parameters. And so the drink contained various fiber forms, including plant cellulose, that really long word, fructosaccharides, soy fiber, rice bran pectin. And what they found in there is, have you heard of the word butyrate, B-U-T-Y-R-A-T-E? It's really big in this. Well, basically that comes from fermented foods, which evidently are in, some of those foods are in Juice Plus. And then they had, of course, the polyphenols from with the retinol. And so what they wanted to know is that, how this was going to affect their body. So after the 6 months, what they discovered is that through the fecal samples is that when you add Juice Plus and Complete, it alters the intestinal microbiota by inhibiting the growth of specific bacteria. Okay, so it says the increase in butyrate, which is the fermented part of the fermented foods that we have in the Complete, suggests that it expands those butyrate in our body, which kill the bad growth. So I thought that was fascinating. Okay, and it also improved our glucose clearance, which they're saying is going to really help with people with glucose issues, and even to help reduce the risk of insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. So how powerful is that? I mean, can you imagine? This study was published evidently in 21, but they're continuing, it's ongoing. But just to be able to say that again, you know, it's another reason, another way that we can, you know, that more people that we can talk to in terms of Juice Plus. Now, I know we only have 4 minutes left, and I'm going to ask your permission to extend that to 8, because I really want you to see when we're talking about gut health, there on the slide that you can see on gut health. There's 2 different. I found a lot of videos, and they're wonderful. There's one on there from Dr. Candace Corson, who is just, you know, incredibly brilliant. There's several from Dr. Mitra Ray, but my personal hero, in one of my superheroes in life, is Dr. Bill Sears, and I have learned so much from him. This is a video from 2019, and he is going to explain how, you know, our gut being our second brain. And if you haven't had a chance to hear Dr. Bill, you're going to fall in love. And we're only going to play an excerpt, even though that breaks my heart. and we hear it.
The brain is most affected, for better or worse, by what you eat. You put smart food into your brain, you get smart health. So what is this first smart food? Well, first of all, it's fat. Your brain is mostly fat. A way to remember this is we are all fatheads. You're a fathead, I'm a fathead. Your children are fatheads. The brain is mostly fat. Now, what is it about fat that decays, turns rancid, we call it? Ever had a piece of fresh fish and you left it out overnight? You smelled it in the morning and it stinks, or it turns rancid. The medical term for that is it oxidizes. Therefore, to keep the fat in the brain from oxidizing or getting wear and tear, you need to eat more antioxidants. And what are the best sources of antioxidants? Fruits, veggies, and seafood. So that was smart. So then you say, okay, Dr. Bell, I'll eat more fruits, veggies, and seafood. How much do I need to eat for the health I want? Well, fruits and veggies, 10 fistfuls a day. Hold up your fist. So if it's a big guy fist, big fistfuls, a baby fist, 10 little fistfuls, 10 fistfuls of fruits and veggies per day, of fruits, veggies, and berries combined. Boy, that's a lot, but you need it. And you need to eat 2 fistfuls of wild salmon per week for enough omegas. And you say, guys, Dr. Bill, I know I need it, but I can't eat that much. All the logic. Now, I sometimes have trouble eating that much, even though I have a big Juice Plus shake in the morning of 5 to 6 fruits and veggies, and a big green salad in the evening, and 2 or 3 evenings a week, I have a fillet of salmon on top. But even I have trouble eating that much. Therefore, I need to take it. Smart supplements. So I need it, but I don't eat it. Therefore, I must take it. That is supplement choosing logic. So let me go into now how to choose any smart supplement to work you through. And I'm going to choose Juice Plus because of several reasons. One, it's the only one I take. It's the #1 supplement our family takes. It's the #1 supplement that our family of doctors take and our medical practice prescribes. It's supported by so much science. So what you learn about Juice Plus now can apply to any supplement. But first of all, do I need it? Yes, you do. You don't eat 10 fistfuls of fruits and vegetables per week, per day, or 2 fistfuls of wild salmon per week. So you need it, but you don't eat it. Therefore, you must take it. Okay, point #1. Secondly, okay, I will take it because I need it, but show me the science, Dr. Bill. And we do. There is more science behind omega fats for the brain because the omegas that are in the omega blend, the Juice Plus omega blend, happen to be the top fats in the brain. But then you say, well, I don't like seafood, or I'm a vegan. Well, the omega blend of seafood in the omega blend is from a seafood source, an algae source. It's where the fish eat theirs. So you eat the take omega blend every day and the trio every day. We call it the quad. And the science behind this, 38 university studies showing that nearly every organ of the body is healthier the more fruits and veggies and juice plus you take. Wow, that's exciting. And then the question might be, well, how early do I start? The earlier, the better. We start in our office. At 6 months, I have the fathead talk. Your brain is mostly fat and your baby's brain is mostly fat. You're growing a little fathead, mom and dad. Therefore, start avocados at 6 months and salmon at 7 months. And then around 8 months, I have what we call the sprinkles test. I open a little Juice Plus veggie capsule. It looks green because it is greens. Tastes green because it's full of greens. I put it on the baby's tongue. I have mom do that 2 or 3 times a day. I have lots of patients in my practice start Juice Plus early, in toddlerhood even. And I will have them come back and say, you know, Dr. Bill, once I started giving our family more Juice Plus, that's why you don't see them so often. They're healthier. And you know what? They also will eat more fruits and veggies. That's interesting. And the Juice Plus Family Health Study, this study has been going on over 20 years and over 1.5 million children are enrolled. And what they find that those kids who eat more Juice Plus have fewer school absences from illness and wind up loving to eat more fruits and veggies. So why does that happen? And we call it programming the mind, programming the crave center. So here's what happens. You put the Juice Plus veggie on the tongue. The sooner the better, even in toddlerhood. And the tongue says like, and the tongue sends a biochemical text message to the crave center of the brain. Remember, the brain loves veggies, antioxidants, and the brain says like gets better. The head brain then sends a biochemical message down the vagus nerve, the superhighway of the body, the super nerve highway in the middle of the body, to the second brain called the gut brain. Now, the biggest term in medicine you're going to hear a lot about right now is the microbiome. Microbiome simply means the community of gut bacteria that live in the lining of your intestines and in return for free food and a warm place to live. They do good things for your body, good for gut health, good for brain health. They make lots of natural medicines. So what is their favorite food? Veggies. So the head brain says to the gut brain, hey, gut brain, down comes your favorite food. You registered like. So the gut brain sends a text message back to head brain, hey, head brain, we like down here. So like. Can you imagine that going on 3 or 4 times a day for a couple of years? After that time, like, it registers and imprints in the crave center of your brain and in the gut to like veggies. That's why the earlier you can program your family and yourself to crave, not only like, you may start, I don't like, but must eat or should eat, to like a little, to like a lot, to crave. And I've seen this happen so often in our medical practice, to crave fruits and veggies.
Thank you. That's right. Okay. Like I said, he is one of my superheroes. I don't know if you know who Dr. Sears is, but he is considered America's pediatrician. They have 8 kids and 15 grandkids, and that was in 2019. But what an incredible resource we have with him. But the whole thing about the gut-brain connection is with our research on gut health, that what we know is that Juice Plus, that oxidative stress in athletes and in all of us, that there's oxidative stress when we're eating negatively, but when we're eating positively, that the prebiotics and the probiotics in our fruits and vegetables, in our blends, and in our shake, they've been known to influence physical and mental health. They promote gut cleansing and detoxification. Our microbiome, one round of antibiotics can literally wipe out your microbiome. And it has to be reestablished, especially if it's before a year old. And it just, anyway, my son had his first antibiotics at 7 months old. And I just think what that did to him. But our microbiomes are easily damaged by many, many factors. She just goes into when you listen to Dr. Ray, she talks about so many. But our Juice Plus capsules and complete every day, they will feed the good bacteria, reduce the bad bacteria, and repopulate our microbiome. So I've enjoyed this so much. I hope I haven't worn you guys out. I can sure do that. But it is just fascinating to me, and everybody needs Juice Plus, and everybody needs the quiet, and everybody needs a shake today. So anyway, thanks for letting me share with you.